want to bring me down the porta charger, please? BNSF Bishop. All right, cool. Can let me know if you guys can hear me. Sorry if this is taking a minute. We're having some issues here, so we're trying to get things figured out for everybody. Okay, cool. Sweet. All right, so hope everyone's doing well. We'll give it a few minutes, let some people get on here, and then I guess if anybody has questions about anything, you can just start asking. Then I'll try and keep up with everything here. So. Northeast Rail, how are you doing? I'm good. How are you doing? I'm awesome now that this is finally working. So I'm sure you guys could tell I was able to get it on my phone. Downloaded one of the apps. I just had some trouble trying to figure everything out. So at least now I can be a little bit more mobile with you guys. We can walk around. Look at some stuff a little bit closer. It's going to be a lot easier. So. And then we can even. I don't have too much for you guys going on in the workshop right now. It's mostly just some drum stuff, but. What is my personal favorite? Ooh, that's a tough one, honestly. Man, I don't even. And it's funny, I've thought about that, and it's so tough because I'm one of those people like I know there's some guys that are just into older horns, and there's some that are into like the newer stuff. I love both equally, so it makes it really hard for me to pick out a favorite. Um, Jeez, I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. Uh, Nick, once we kind of figured out, I had to play around with the app for a little bit there. Um, but yeah, overall it wasn't too hard. I was just kind of having some of my own issues with it because I'm not the best with the technology. So, but yeah, overall it wasn't too bad. I'm using Streamable or Streamlabs, I mean. So that's what I decided to go with. I just kind of looked around and saw what would have been best. See, if I had to pick a favorite, it would definitely be one of the K5 LAs, but I'm not sure uh, which one. It'd probably be either the 947 Amtrak or my CSX Square Tag. Either one of those is pretty good, but both of the I don't know, the Amtrak P42 K5 LAs are pretty sweet too. So it'd be a pretty tough pretty tough choice to pick one that's my favorite above the rest of them. Each horn has an extreme amount of work into it, so I end up putting a lot of time into these, so I really like them all. And then let me know if you guys want to check out any of the random parts that I got chilling in here. We got a bunch of fours or 4As, threes, 3As, a couple fives in there. That I know of. Are you talking about like rare bells or hard to find bells? Yeah, the 3B, 3L, and then those Australian K5 LAs that are on the ultra low manifolds. I can't remember. It's like a K5 ULA or something. I don't know, something like that. That's got a lot of weird bells on it too. I don't have anything really cool like that. I don't have a 3B or a 3L or any Australian tuned bells, but we do have somewhere. Oh, I guess they're out here. I only have one true four, and that is the four that's on this CSX 80s K5L. Yeah, I can, yeah, Nick, I'm kind of a hoarder when it comes to parts. I like to just have a lot of stuff on hand so that way I can build a horn if I want. You know, I can build in almost any horn that I want to. There's a few bells that I'd like to add to the collection and do, but yeah, that's. I just like to have a lot of stuff on hand so that way I can mess around and make some cool stuff. Like I said in one of my other videos not that long ago, I do have a request horn coming up. So that's honestly probably going to be next month when I start doing that, because I have my wedding and everything coming up this month. If I got a 3B, I would definitely make a K5HLB. I would love to add that horn to my K5H collection. I love how that horn sounds. And then I would also try it in a couple other capacities. It's definitely a bell that is on my list of things to get. And if you guys see anything that's sitting out here that you haven't seen in a horn talk yet, feel free to ask about it. I will do horn talks on everything that I haven't yet. A K5 LLB would be really cool. I would definitely do that. I would definitely do that, because I love K5 LLAs. That's definitely one of my more favorite horns. I just love how they sound. So I'm really happy to have like a couple different variations of it. We got the early non-raised letter 2-piece 1L LLA, and then you guys saw this in my 2-part video, the very first run of raised letter. That's a really cool one to have. And then this one I built completely from parts that I acquired. That's all 2018 parts that is on this one. And she's a beast. And then yeah, like I said, anything that I haven't got to yet, I will be doing horn talks on. I know some of you guys asked questions about the Lonely Leslie that I have in the collection here. RS3L, former Conrail, and former Norfolk Southern. She's in pretty good shape overall. There's still some areas where you guys can see some Conrail blue underneath the Norfolk Southern. Northeast Rail Videos, I'm with you on that one. I love the sound of the very first K5 LLAs. They kind of have a classier tone. Let's see if I can show you guys. When I clean this up, the tag was in mint condition on this. Hopefully my phone can focus. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I was able to clean all the paint off of it, and that's literally how the tag came out. I didn't have to do anything else to it. And then you guys can see a lot of Conrail blue showing through on it, especially where the debris covers are. And these are the original Norfolk Southern applied debris covers too. I cleaned those up. They were really sooty. Still has all its original bolts, original diaphragms. All the gaskets are new on it though. So we'll do a horn talk on that one coming up soon, hopefully. And then I know, like my first horn talk, I kind of roped all three of my P horns together. We'll give each one of those its own time and little more detailed look and explanation on everything. So yeah, Nick, she's a pretty sweet piece for sure. I have pictures of the locomotive. I can't remember offhand what the number was, but I do know, I do have pictures of the locomotive it came off of. It was a Dash 8. I'll have to look back at my photos because honestly I can't remember the cab number offhand. But when I look back at my pictures, I'll let you know what the number was. I would love to get a old cast P5 CSX 500. I love how the old casts sound. This one that I have is a new cast, and it actually started life as a P3, and then I bought the 3 bell and the 5 bell separately. As you can tell, they've been blasted, and everything else on here is just unpainted. And then hopefully sometime in the summer I can finish stripping that horn, and then both of these I'll repaint. I'll look around for a really nice matching paint for Amtrak, and we'll be repainting those two someday. Sorry if my camera isn't focused all the time there. I also still have some manifolds in here that we're going to mess around with. A couple of risers. So we've still got some fun stuff yet to come on the channel. I'm gonna guess that the 3L came around. God, I'm honestly not too sure. I would guess like 2012, 2013, maybe that far back. Maybe not that far back. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure when the 3L was first introduced. I would imagine it was somewhere around like 2012 to 2015-ish, somewhere within that time frame. I'd have to look at. I have some locomotive numbers that have them, and I'd have to kind of look at the build dates on those, and that'd kind of give me a better idea of the exact time frame that those were produced. I've honestly thought about having sending this out and having it get tuned to a B, since it's just a straight 3. But I'd kind of like to find one and not have to lose a standard 3. No, there would not be a 2-piece 3L. That's one of those. The 3B and the 3L are just 3s that they board for tuning. So. Okay. And then of course we got the GE sitting back there. I got that one back in early, actually I think it was late 2017 or early 2018 when I got that. I can't remember. See. Which K5LA hybrid is my favorite? The K5LAs with a standard 3 sound pretty good. I know a lot of people don't like the K5LA with a standard 4 on it, but I heard one on an Amtrak P42. I can't remember what number it was, but there's a video that I came across on YouTube of it, and it was a really cool sounding horn. Yeah, the GE is definitely a odd duck for sure. I did a lot of work to that to make it not sound like crap. They don't sound super terrible, but they are a very, without any modifications, they are a very harsh, kind of a messy sounding horn. So I put some work into mine to make it not sound so trashy. That's another one that we'll get to. K5LLA, former Norfolk Southern. I'm still messing around with this raised letter K3HA. So eventually that'll be in videos. And then both of these, the K3LA and the K3HA, those will get some horn talks done on them. That one right there came off of a -9, and then the one behind it, you guys can tell that's in the executive paint scheme, that kind of lighter forest green or whatever. That one's off of a SD70 Mac. I have the numbers of quite a few of these, but remembering that offhand isn't my best. If I had my other laptop down here, I could tell you guys, but I can't. It's hard for me to remember all the locomotive numbers that's there. Up top here, got a lot of back caps, bunch of debris covers, and then those debris covers are going to go on that horn right there, on that P42 horn. The only other Leslie that I would be interested in getting is a RS5T. That's one horn that's definitely on my bucket list. Yeah, I just never really have had a lot of opportunity to get Leslie's, so that's why I really don't have much in the Leslie department. It's not that I don't like them, I just don't have, I just haven't really found many that I could afford or whatever, so. Down here we got some 1-bells, and then that 2-piece 1L, I already have a project set aside for that one. We got 2 raised letter 1Ls down there, and then a mix of raised letter and non-raised letter ones. Yeah, there is something weird about a K3 horn on a bigger locomotive. It's kind of neat. And it's something you don't really hear all the time either, so it's pretty cool. We will do a horn talk on the K5HLA hybrid. Since I've rebuilt that horn, I have not done a horn talk on it yet, so we'll get around to doing that one. I think we did a horn talk on that one. I'm not sure. I'd have to look back through my videos, but if we didn't, I will definitely get to the early K5LLA. I know I did a video on my early K5HL, but I can't remember if I did that one, so like I said, anything that I've missed so far, I'll make sure go back and get. And actually, I'm probably going to do some sound recording videos and post those on YouTube for you guys. Since over the winter, most of the videos, all of the sound videos that you guys seen were from inside the house here. And now that I have my setup out in the garage, I do get better sound recordings out in the garage. I did a handful last year because I had my workshop out there for a while during the summer. So we'll kind of go back and get some new sound on some of these and get a little bit better sound quality. Elliot, it's got the chips and salsa. I was waiting for it. So I'll show you guys something that I haven't on this manifold right here. So this one, you can see there's a little bit of red paint left on it. That's from a really messed up K5LA that I got off of eBay. Some of you might remember it. It had two bells on it. The horn originally was a tagless 90s K5LA, and somewhere along the lines it lost its 3-bell, and they replaced it with a raised letter 2, and then they filled in all of this webbing. It was completely filled in with some type of epoxy and smoothed and painted. They ground off the part number on both sides of the manifold. So I mean, it was weird. I pretty much just bought it for parts because I knew it was, with it having a 2-bell on it, it was already pretty weird. BNSF Bishop, so you mean like just doing a 1L 1, 2, 3, 4? Like basically a K5L only without the 5 and with a 1L in its place? So yeah, this is, with this manifold being the way it is, it's just kind of my testing manifold now. Took a lot of time and effort to chip out all of the whatever that guy had filled in here. It was like super hard stuff. It took me forever to chip that all out. And then really sucked that he had ground down the part number on it. But I think eventually I'm just going to repaint this manifold, clean it up a little bit more, repaint it nice, and then probably use it on something eventually. And you guys can see some of the red painted bells that I have are from that horn. So with the K5HLs, we all know that the non-raised letter 2-piece 1L was the very first rendition The next step after that was a completely raised letter horn, but with a shallow bore too, so that's why they still kind of had the tone of an older one. I've thought about doing a K5, like a second run K5 HL before, but I only have one more raised letter shallow bore 2 left. I'm saving that for a little project. Because this K5 LLA right here is the perfect example, and if you guys haven't seen the 2-part video on this, check it out. Sorry for the focusing, it's terrible, I know. Check it out, because this, I go really in depth on showing you guys the power chambers and the nozzles and everything on this. Literally, most of the bells on this horn, you open them up and you look inside and they look like they're a non-raised letter bell, but it's a raised letter horn. So that's why a lot of the older, real old raised letter stuff, their very first run of stuff sounds older than the newer stuff. Because you actually have 2 bore changes between the first run and what would that be, like the 3rd or 4th run of raised letter. The 4s or the 4As on these were not bored quite as deep as the 4As, as the newer 4As are. But at the same time, they were still bored deeper than a half-step 4A, which you see on a lot of older non-raised letter K5 LAs and stuff like that. But the early K5 LA and then the first run raised letter, the 4As are the exact same depth between those two. A 1L, 2, 3A, 45. I've heard, I'll have to look up the one that you're talking about. I've heard somebody that had a horn do that combination, and I didn't hate it. I don't know if it's something that I would just keep as a horn all the time, but I definitely did not hate how it sounded. Definitely has a cool, much different tone. Yeah, I wish my phone would focus a little bit quicker than what it does, but I'm glad you guys are holding on through this rocky road. Like I said, this is first time live streaming, so sorry if it is boring or the focus is really horrible. Yeah, I'll have to write that down. Actually, I'm going to write that down right now so I don't forget. Because I'd like to... Oh, where's my notepad here? I'd like to see that, see the videos on that. So well, that's way too much. So yeah, we'll write that down right here. 595. What type of locomotive is 595? I'm not familiar with CSX's numbers, so I'm not too sure what type of locomotive that is. Pick up my mess here. Thank you for the support, buddy. Trying. We're trying. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I'll have to check out the videos on that today, later. Like I like building hybrid horns and stuff like that, but I really, really like hearing them out in the wild. That's always really cool when you hear something unique out on the main line somewhere. And for like the rest of this month, my content's going to be a little slow, if anything. But July, I'm going to really start working on some more horn videos for you guys. After my wedding and everything is done, we'll have some really fun stuff coming up for everybody. Well, that's cool. That's pretty cool that CSX has a few of those kicking around. I'm not sure what number this one would have came off of. I know it's former the first run raised letter K5LLA. That's off of a BNSF SD70 ACE. No clue what number though. This one is former Union Pacific. Even has UPRR stamps on the manifold. It is a double tag. It was shopped at some point. Had the refurbished horn sound level certified tag on there, and then some of the bells have UP stamping on them. So. Which I'm really glad they didn't replace the two-piece 1L with a raised letter 3L, because that's what happened to my early K5HL. This actually had two tags on it at one point, and I pulled the sound level certified tag off and took off the took off the raised letter 1L and put a two-piece back on it to bring it back to its original state. So. And I'll write that number down too and see if I can look for some videos on that, because I'd love hearing that horn out in the wild there. I'm definitely a hybrid horn fan. I love them. They're just really cool things that you can make. This one I haven't talked much about, and I'm saving this one for a video. So it's a raised, or no, is it this one or this one. Sorry guys. So this one over here. So it's a raised letter K5LA, but it's kind of a hybrid. I'm not gonna say too much about it right now because I want to do a really cool video on that one. But you guys will. A few of my friends have heard this horn, and they didn't know it was what it was. So be looking forward to the video on that guy right there. Oh, my connection's poor. There we go. Yeah, sorry if the stream gets a little laggy. Down here in the basement, the internet reaches pretty good, but sometimes it gets a little iffy. So I can't remember if I've done a 4 bell talk yet. I know I've done a couple bell talks, but the difference between a raised letter 4A and a non-raised letter 4A, you got the half step bore versus the deep bore. Then the focusing is just trash. God. Can we take a look? Yes, we can totally. 947. This horn came out beautifully. Definitely going to get some more sound recording on this and out in the garage, so that way you guys can actually hear a little bit of echo off of it. But yeah, she's beautiful. Took a lot of time when I was cleaning this one up. And then of course I dealt with a lot of broken bolts on this one too. It was a real pain in the butt. But we managed to get her all back together really good. I even had to deal with a cast failure. This whole top part of the manifold right here broke off when I was trying to extract a broken bolt, and so I had to fix that. But yeah, she's all there though. Sounds great. Probably one of the better sounding K5LAs that I have. She's definitely seen her time of service. I'll have to let me write that down. I think my stream's froze, guys. My screen is froze. I don't know if you guys are hearing me in real time anymore, but my screen is like hardcore froze right now. Let's see, is my stream completely froze here? Oh yeah, we're froze up hardcore. Why are we froze? I have a good connection right now. I don't know why we're froze up. Okay, Sorry guys, I don't know why the screen's froze, but if you can still hear me, I'm gonna try and answer some of the questions here. Let's see, how many flange bolts broke? Let's see, how many did I have break? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it looks like I had five flange bolts break, and then the 1 foot bolt that broke. That was a complete pain in the butt. I had to end up drilling all of those out on my press, and that took me a while. God, I don't know why this is froze up. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know. I have like great connection right now, but my whole screen is just completely frozen. I don't think it's gonna unfreeze either. Darn it. Oh, why are we so frozen right now? Let's see if I can try and get this thing back up without cutting off the stream. CSX 500, I have heard some really nice mashup of new cast and old cast parts like that. I agree with you. The combination of those two is really cool if you got the right bells for the, whether it's in a new or old cast. Jeez, why is this so froze? Let me see if I send a message on here, if it'll like unfreeze. Ooh, does that mean we have another famous Elliott video coming soon? Let me see if I walk up the stairs, maybe I can get some better internet. Yeah, I guess if it had to pick a spot to freeze on, it picked a decent spot to freeze on. Sorry about that, guys. There's like nothing I can do to get that to come back. I don't know why it froze though. I have a good connection on everything right now, so I don't know. Maybe if I try to weaken the connection and then get it strong again, I'm not sure. Well, at least we can still talk. I mean, I kind of showed you guys everything that I could already, so at least we can still talk here. I don't know if it's a YouTube thing or if Streamlabs is throwing a fit here. I don't know which one is which one's to blame here. Yeah, that sucks that that froze. I don't know. I just don't know, guys. Maybe if I... Oh, hey. Are we unfroze? Are we unfroze, guys? Did I do it? I think I might have... Maybe. Did we do it? Oh. Oh boy. Oh, we're back in business, boys. We are back in business. I don't know what all that was about, but okay. Alright, cool. Well, literally all I did was I flipped the camera backwards and forwards and it fixed itself, so wish I would have known that earlier. I guess I'll show you guys like my little... This is my personal hardware store here for all of my nuts and bolts and everything for horns and such. I know I don't really show a lot of the workshop most times because it's so messy. And then over here, some more nuts and bolts and washers and all sorts of goodies. And then I do have my vise on a mounted to a riser right now, just that way it's I can use my vise down here. Eventually I'll mount it somewhere on my workbench in the garage, but I just kind of use it for little things down here, so I figured what's a better pedestal than a riser. So got a couple random gasket pads sitting around here. So I'll write some of those numbers down too. You guys are giving me some good YouTube watching material here. I know I've seen one of those that you're talking about there. Might have been 5407, I think I've seen videos of. because I do kind of meander around YouTube looking for hybrids and that. So like I got a lot of model railroad stuff chilling over here. Yes, Elliot, the lab. This is where the magic happens. All this stuff's all kind of falling out. A lot of HO detail parts. Clearly that's my Steam program maintenance area there. I got like everything in here. I got drivers, some of this, the cylinders, pilots, boiler backheads. Okay, Elliot, thanks for coming, buddy. I'm glad you could be a part of it. Pilot trucks, trailing trucks, tender trucks. Some elephant ears and walkways. And then I do a lot of something that I'm not going to show yet. This is definitely going to be more for the model railroad people. I do a lot of carnival stuff too, so I've got a lot of HO carnival kit parts, a lot of semi-truck parts and stuff. Up in all the cabinets here, I know I've kind of showed it off in videos in the past, but I have a lot of kits yet to build. Some maintenance away stuff. I love maintenance away stuff, so we've got quite a few maintenance things. The tenders for my UP steam stuff. But most of all my locomotives that are finished are chilling over here on the shelves. I got a little bit of everything. I'm a huge steam fan. I love steam, love diesel, BNSF, UP. See ya, Elliot. Thanks for coming, buddy. Got a lot of it's one of my favorite locomotives of all time, hands down. Dash 840BW. I love those locomotives, so I have pretty much every one that that Atlas made. We have Amtrak stuff. A lot of writing that I cannot read, but that's how I had to find them. The P42s, a lot of the heritage ones on there. A lot of cool random stuff here. Passenger car stuff, and then my let's see if I can. Challengers, big boys. And then a lot of the Northerns that they had. Got a lot of diesel power from them. The various heritage SD70 ACEs that they have. These three boxes right here are their E units that they have in their heritage program. Try to eliminate the glare there. See, I've been a model railroader my entire life, as far back as I can remember. So I have a lot of model railroad stuff that I've collected over the years, and I've always wanted to get into horns. The horn hobby, just with me being a lifelong rail fan, worked for a railroad for a little over 8 years. I just love anything railroad, so I didn't get into the horn hobby as soon as I would have liked to, but I was really concentrating on a lot of my my HO scale stuff there. And then I even have more stuff in here. I have a lot of my freight cars and everything in here. So this is the try not to show you guys too much of this room. It's a mess. It's just kind of a catch-all room right now. I worked for RailServe, not a very nice company to work for, but it was a railroad job. So my whole time there, I did many years of locomotive operating. I worked as a helper for a while, and then I was a crew leader, which is basically their version of the conductor. My last few years there, I was a conductor. So I mean, it was cool. The company themselves isn't the greatest, but the job was pretty cool. The only reason I'm not working there anymore is because I moved away from where I used to live, and it was just a site job. It wasn't a job that I could take somewhere else. So yeah, I think my first 3 years there, I was just a locomotive operator. We also did our own maintenance on the locomotives. I got to operate a lot of really cool stuff. We also got to move around Union Pacific and BNSF Power. But mostly what I operated was GP10s, Jeep 9s, Jeep 7s, one SW1200, and then they had a couple that they converted to a genset, which those were kind of a joke in my opinion. They had like little to no power and a lot less weight in them, so the tractive effort was really crappy. So we had a pretty hilly area that we switched around in and had to move a lot of cars on, and those weren't always the best thing. So, but the time that I was there, I enjoyed it. I did not enjoy the winters though. I worked night shift the whole time I was there. I worked nights, and some of those nights were pretty darn cold in the dead of winter. But I definitely enjoyed it overall. It was really cool to get the experience and get all the knowledge of everything that I was able to get. Made a lot of cool friends. A lot of railroad mechanics I got to be good friends with. I got to travel to different locomotive shops. That's where like a lot of these horns came from, because I knew mechanics and I had access to shops. So I was able to get quite a few of these from shops and stuff. And my cat's meowing in the background. See if is there a cat in here somewhere? Oh, there he is. Yep. There's my wash sink where I clean a lot of the parts. I let them soak in PB Blaster here, and then I bring them over here and do most of my washing in this sink. The other sink's basically just for soaking parts for a while, if I want to let them soak for a week or a couple months or whatever. So hey, what are you doing? What are you doing, huh? What are you doing? You're live on YouTube. What do you have to say about your actions with getting into all my stuff in the workshop, huh? Any comments, sir? No? Yeah, so the reason why this one's a couple different colors because I didn't really know what I was going to do for the paint. Because I was kind of having a hard time finding a Amtrak, like a good Amtrak paint. And I was just going to do black, and then I found a blue, so then I tested the blue for a little bit, and so I'm just going to wind up stripping everything. And hopefully someday find a really good close paint color, so that way these two can get back to their Amtrak look. Non-hybrid K5. Okay, I'll have to write that number down too. Look some of these up later. That's okay, that's a BNSF4. 564. Okay, there we go. So yeah, you guys are giving me some good good YouTube material to watch later. I just recently opened up a lot of my video galleries or playlists on YouTube. And I don't know if you guys ever looked through any of that, but I do have a lot of train videos saved on YouTube and various playlists. And I try to keep them pretty well organized for the better part as far as like what videos I'm putting in. So. You gonna help me with the live stream? You gonna help me? I have seen videos of their Dash 9s having some LLAs on them, which is pretty cool. Okay, yeah, I know I've seen videos of a couple of those. So, I think I talked about it in one of my latest videos. So this is a raised letter K5 LA that I built from parts. It's all newer parts as well. And I've got some ideas that I want to try with this one, so you guys will see some videos coming up of that one too. Some cool stuff coming up. Oh, that's pretty cool. God, I don't think through all my aimless YouTube watching, I don't think I've come across videos of any GEs with the K5. You know what? I think I might have seen one video that had a K5 LLA on it, but I guess I didn't pay too much attention to it at the time. Yeah, it's kind of neat when you hear a horn on a locomotive that you don't normally excuse you, that you don't normally hear on that locomotive. That's always pretty cool. We got a couple things in here. We got a few. The 2 straight 3s in the back there, those, I think one of them, I don't know if they're both, I can't remember if they're both 80s. I know one of them is an 80s, and one of them's early 2000s. And then we got all sorts of bells. UP Gevo has one. That's pretty cool. I'll definitely have to look some of that up later on YouTube. $622. I will definitely have to write that one down, especially with it being in War Bonnet. Because I grew up in the early 90s, so I'm a huge Santa Fe guy. I love Santa Fe. Anything blue and yellow, red and silver, I love. I think we'll stream for just a little bit longer, guys. Probably wrap it up in another 20 minutes or so. That'll give us like an hour and a half of stream, which is, I feel like that's pretty good. If any of you guys know model railroad people that are into like a lot of BNSF, Santa Fe, UP, any of that stuff, I think eventually I will do a model railroad stream. Not sure when, but if you guys know anybody that's into model railroading, send them my way, because I would love to. Eventually I will start doing a lot of model railroad videos. Maybe over the winter I might start getting back into a lot of that, because I still have a lot of projects. I'm not short on projects when it comes to model railroading. Like I said, literally everything over here is stuff that I have yet to work on. And then even down here I have some older blue box Athearn stuff that's going to be fixed up and stuff, so if you guys know any model railroaders, let them know, send them my way. Or if you yourselves are into model railroading, I'd love to see you there. So, like I said, not too sure when, probably sometime over the winter. So it'll be a while, but alrighty guys, I'll probably 10 minutes. I'll stop the stream about 10 minutes, so if you guys have any more questions or comments or anything, let me know. I really appreciate everyone for coming out and being on the stream. I'll definitely be streaming in the future. Um, Ohio Rail fan, hello, how are you doing? Nah, sorry that the screen froze up earlier. I really don't know what was going on there, but I really appreciate everyone for sticking around. What horn and loco? God, I don't know. I love SD70 ACEs and I love the K5 LLAs on them, but Gevos that have a K5 HLA on them is pretty cool. I do like when NS has like a newer locomotive with a P horn on it. That's always pretty cool. I know they have I don't know if it's still on there or not. They had was it 1160 or 6011? I can't remember. It's a SD70 ACE that has or had a P5 on it, which I thought that was pretty cool. I've seen a couple small 4-axle Jeeps with K5 LLAs on them. That's always really cool. I have yet to see, and it might be out there. You guys might know. Is there anything like a smaller 4-axle Jeep that has a K5 HL on it? That'd be pretty cool to see a smaller locomotive with such a big, tall horn on it. I love the fact that CSX's newer locomotives actually have a K5 LA on them and not a K5 LLA. That's pretty cool. Not really liking where locomotives are starting to go nowadays, like how they're starting to make things, but anything. Yeah, I'll have to CSX 500. I'll have to look around and look for some videos because that'd be kind of cool. I know I can't remember what railroad it was. It's like a short line somewhere or something, but they have like I think it's a Jeep 15 that has a K5 LLA on it, and that's pretty cool. Have such a tiny locomotive with a bigger horn on it. Okay, cool, thanks. Yeah, I'd love to see some videos on those. That'd be really cool. Is that a CSX locomotive? 6503? Me. Oh, there's my other one. Are you gonna help with the stream? Hey, sir, are you gonna help with the stream? Huh? Or are you looking for food? Yeah, 409 GMTX. Yep, that's the one. That's the one that I've seen quite a few videos on. That's got a K5 LLA on it. You guys got a lot of numbers for me here. Filled my little notepad up pretty good. Okay, 50 CSX 65 03 6503. Okay. Thanks for all the numbers, guys. I'm definitely looking forward to watching some of that later. What are you doing? Ooh, a GP9 with a K5 LLA. That's pretty cool. Let's see, Conway. Conway Scenic 1751. Okay, definitely gonna look up that one. That's pretty cool. So yeah, guys, I'll probably be wrapping it up pretty soon here. If any of you have any final questions or comments, throw them in, and we'll get ready to tie it down here. Pan Am, huh? I would love to hear that. Okay, I'll get those numbers down from you. 3,400 and 3,404. Alrighty, guys. Well, I want to thank everybody that was able to join. It was really cool talking with you guys, and actually being able to talk in real time. Really appreciate all your support for my channel. I know it's not the most exciting channel out there, but I definitely appreciate all the support from you guys. Like I said, after this month, you guys will start to see some more good horn content coming back after my wedding and all that. So stay tuned. It'll be a little bit, but we'll get back into some really cool stuff. A lot of parts right there to use to make some cool stuff. So once again, thanks everybody. Really, really appreciate it. Um, love your comments. I try and read and comment on every comment on my videos, so that way I can still kind of communicate with you guys, even without a live stream going. So thanks everybody. Till next time, take care. Thumbs up. Peace.